Hi, welcome back from break. And welcome back. Once again, this is Ocyphius. In this last impartation from Seth, we will give you this idea. The ascension of the human civilization is always, will always be in your hands. Now that you have a practicum, an idea on how to change it at your own idea, not being, let's say, oh yes, most certainly, a victim to the outside of certain things taking place, you can truly change it from the inside, which all that is, and change the idea of the civilization into the fourth density, fifth dimension, however you choose to perceive it, in a fathomable, let's say, moment's notice. There is no waiting, truly, for you can shift any moment of the entire collective to any now by the idea of shifting all of the ones involved in the ascension to them, the ones involved, knowing now that they can shift themselves in all of the other timelines to the idea of waking up, wake them up, therefore shifting this now to, let's say, back then, or to then, or to then. Doesn't matter. You can really, truly see, with little effort in that fashion, of seeing how this can work. That you all, as a collective, have always had the keys to your own prison in your own hands at all times. You've given yourself practical tools throughout all of creation to remember in some fashion or another that you are the Creator God, the individual expression in the mind of all that is. And now armed in that fashion with this knowledge, and the knowledge coupling this knowledge, that knowledge of what you would call probable selves, going in any fathomable now of you, the higher self, experiencing, and now you, the higher self, you here in forgetfulness, is now awake fully, going up to your higher self, going down to another probable self, waking that person up, much like you were woken up by one of your future selves. You woke yourself up in another now. From that now to this now. It was you who woke yourself up. Go back and wake everybody else up that is you. And then as more and more do that, the rippling effect will only magnify the collective conscience whole about this entire idea, using this in a practical manner of rhythmic repetition, full understanding of it, not rushing it, not looking for results, not fighting things of 3D, allowing yourself to be the Creator God, and then knowing all of this now, experiencing all of them, then you can change literally the timeline. You're already ascended. We've said this several times. How do you shift to there? Shift yourself to there, as well as everybody else, by shifting all of you. 1 does it, 10 does it, 1,000, 1,000,000, 10 million, 1 billion. That's how quickly it can happen. But if you're looking at this as in a linear fashion of things having to be in place in order to, because you're looking at one earth, then that in and of itself is a huge limitation of your ability and your perspective of you being God. Only validating time. This is how time is an asset. This is how you can shift in time, timelines, to be intertwined with this ascension idea, the whole encompassing idea. By going on the outskirts and changing and shifting this personality, that personality is now awake, and now let's say you woke him up and you let him go and do his thing, her thing, because it's awake. It knows, much like you are experiencing and waking up others by being and discovering yourself. So that self does that. Now take that self times 10 times to the fourth, rather, of all of those selves, and affecting all of those experiences and all of those interactions with all of the entities that it draws within its circle, its idea of reality, offering to those. And then think about that. Let's go back to the 1802 self. The 1802 self is awake within the construct of acceptable reality. However, it has shifted timelines, and now it is enacting new ideas for those around, let's say, themselves to offer, and those in that, let's say, offering accept that. They're awake now. They have an idea. And how about that other entity from the other entity of now going back, waking that one up, and in that timeline there's two that are now awake that were never awake on this timeline of history. Changing this now from that now, because of your future now that came here and woke this now up. Shift your conscience everywhere that's fathomable, acceptable, as a believability, a trust-filled factor to experience that in its richness, fullness, as if you were there, much like you are here. Billions of yous are awakening right now just with this thought, because you are always sharing, all of you. Conscious units, cell, DNA, memory. This idea, just by you listening to it, that's in your awareness, is it already shifting the entire collective timeline, collective view, human civilization, period. So understand how much truly you have inside of you, one of you, with no concern of anyone else's action, only allowing them to discover, once again with the Garden of Eden that you have given with unconditional love, in full allowance of however they are, only, let's say, accelerates themselves. Accelerates them out of their actions, because they are God, and they will see in the mirror of reflection that they no longer need what they thought was important as identification. So you allow that multiplies their view of themselves. Coupled with this new idea that you've given yourself to, let's say, not just straddle consciousness and viewership of imagination, but to delve into a timeline, space-time now of your probable selves, expanding that self to all that is, and having all of that is being the awareness of all those interactions in that timeline, which is also, once again, coupled with another awake person using this same practicum of that, expanding that timeline, multiplying that timeline, that timeline, that timeline, that timeline, intertwining all of those to this PowerPoint of now, exploding the Ascension timeline beyond ability that you are perceiving it as a linear time ability to perceive. Easy. You got this. Most epic. Take this. This is you. Listen now. This is you as a collective allowing this idea into reality as an acceptable framework to work within, which is currently outside of the framework of the entire collective. But the ones that are now entertaining this idea will give that telepathically, co-creationally, vibrationally to the, let's say, asleep. Only changing, once again, the timeline. The ascension has occurred. And it has not occurred. It always did. It never has. Whatever. Don't try to figure that out because that's time. That is limiting when you try to figure out time. And every single time that you are looking in time for something epic to happen, and that idea of things will change in 2016, then you're looking in time, validating time. Awesome. Something's going to happen then. Let me see what I can create now. And shift everything around you all the time with no time as validation. Releasing your bounds of time into, let's say, now. Oh yes, most certainly. So dwell upon this in meditation and ideas of alone time and thought, and allow, as Seth says, uncritically your imagination to take you on the journey of conscience. Beyond that which you perceive as reality. Trust this, entities of ascension. Another epic moment in the ascension of the human civilization that you are gazing upon now. Most certainly. Stand by. No. Chomariako kuniato matiaka. Chaniato. This is all we have for this now. Our eternal thanks and gratitude for the acceptance of this vibrational idea to ponder. We would ask only that you allow it to flower, flourish, with the fertilization, the garden bed of your eternal love. This is Ocyphius once again. I bid you a good moment. Adore. Cool. I get it.
That was really awesome. Because even as you were talking about, shifting those past lives, I was looking at a lot of my past lives that I remember, and opening up to that idea of awakening, and then seeing the ripples go out from each one of those into the now.
Into this now.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I get it. We get. Oh, we rock.
Totally cool.
That is awesome. All right, guys, I'll get this up today. I love you so much. Mwah! We'll see you later. Bye.